You'sa look throwed up on.
Oh yeah? Well, you know good.
Ooh, what you think yousa gonna do?
You suck.
What just happened here? Hey guys, now you can follow me on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/UltraMaximusReviews. Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another retro review, and today we're going to rewind it back to 1993 with Toy Biz's Uncanny X-Men Tusk. And this is the incarnation of the character that appeared in the X-Men animated series, which actually in that cartoon they called him a mutant, but he's not. He's actually an Inhuman. If you don't know who the Inhumans are, they are an ancient race of Homo sapiens that were genetically altered by the Kree when man was still in the Stone Age. And they kind of evolved into their own superhuman species that are not associated with humans or mutants. This guy, however, did work for Apocalypse in the cartoons, and the comics. Actually, it was the comics, and he appeared in the cartoons with the Dark Riders. He hasn't been in comics in a long time. His power was that he could make little minions of himself, and yeah, he's a weird guy. And they call him Tusk because he's got these great big tusks on his shoulders. So I found this at my local flea market for like a couple bucks. He was really cheap, so I figured why not go ahead and pick him up. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So here we have Tusk in the packaging, and he comes with one of his little minions. I wish he came with about 1 or 2 or 3 more. That would have been really cool, but he's kind of got like a strongman kind of build. I wonder if it's a modified version of strongman. I'll have to get strongman and find out. And it says the Uncanny X-Men. It comes with a trading card, and then we get some artwork there, and it says X-Men now on home video, so you can buy the VHS tape. Isn't that fun? It's got the Marvel Comics logo up there. It says Toy Biz. So yeah, definitely kind of fun. Just kind of a close-up. Yep, there it is. There's the artwork in the back with the minion leaping off of him, and he's got his, what does it say, surprise attack mutant that it comes with. That's the surprise attack mutant. But they're not mutants, they're Inhumans. But yeah, it says Tusk, and there it is, and he's got his card back there, looking all kinds of cool. Back of the packaging, it shows you how the little gimmick works with the little duplicate, and then all the other figures that you can get. This one has, looks like the X-Force team with Cable, and Claw, and Shatterstar, Deadpool, and Strife, and then a variation version of the X-Force team, and then the bad guys, and then a bunch of other X-Men type stuff. And then who do we have down here? So this is the main X-Men line. I've done the Wolverine, Weapon X, and the Bishop guy. That was pretty cool. I want to get a Strongman. I think he'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely a fun little set, and it's got a little bio here. So just kind of a close-up. There's how the gimmick works right there. And here is the bio. If you want to pause and read this, you are more than welcome to. So there's part 1, and then there's the rest of it. So here are all the other figures that you can collect. So we got the X-Force stuff. Pretty cool. My favorite version of Cable, which is nice, and all the bad guys. And then the X-Men. So the X-Men figures that you can collect. Yes, fun stuff. I'll add links to the Bishop and the Weapon X in this video. If you have not caught those retro reviews, definitely check them out. But that's really it for the packaging for this Inhuman. Figured we'd go ahead and do an Inhuman since that's getting ready to hit TV. Let's go ahead and get Tusk and his little duplicate out of the package and see what we think. So here we have Tusk out of the package, and I gotta say, I really do like this figure a lot. I've been messing around with it on the coffee table for about 2 days now, and man, this thing is a lot of fun. I'm really getting into the old Toy Biz type figures, these, you know, older kind of gimmicky type toys. They're definitely a lot of fun and cool. So he does come with an accessory, not really an accessory, but a card. I was like, what do I call this? It is an X-Men trading card, and it has Richter on the front here. And then on the back, it's got a little file for Richter, and his name is J.E. Richter. That is about as good as Enigma from Batman comics. So basically, this guy can make earthquakes, is what this boils down to. It says. So yeah, and so he possesses the mutant power to generate concussive waves of vibration. So yeah, there's Richter. All right, so onto the toy himself. So we've got Tusk right here, looking cool, and then we have the little Tuskette that they call it. I think I'd rather call it a Tuskling. I think that sounds cuter. But he is very detailed. He's got this little ring around there. He's got all these little bumps. Just a very well-detailed little figurine. No articulation. It would have been nice if his arms at least could move up and down. That would have been cool, but they do not. He does, however, stand very, very well, unlike modern Marvel figures that when they make them that small, they just kind of fall over. And that's because this is a harder plastic, not like the rubber that we get in today's figures, where they're just too soft and they're just not stiff enough to hold the toy, essentially. So, yeah, as far as Tusk himself goes, articulation-wise, he has nothing on his head. His arm moves all the way around, so both of these move all the way around. His leg kicks up about that far, does not kick back at all, and that's all the articulation that he has. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. Now, the gimmick on this guy. I really love it. I do. So here's his back. You basically pull open his back, and inside, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick this up with the lighting or not, you can kind of see it. There's a little elevator down there. And you're supposed to put the Tuskette in frontwise, is what it says, like this. And then you lower the little peg down there, but the problem is, if you notice, he doesn't fit in there all that great, and then go to close it, he kind of gets locked up. You can force it down and close it, and then you go to open it, and then you push it up, and he pops out. Let me get this. I'm going to do this. Let me do this again on camera. Come on. I don't want to lose it. There he goes. He tends to pop out really, really easy. But the problem I've noticed is his hands. He goes in backwards wonderfully, and he slides right down in there, and there is zero issues with that closing. And then you just lift it up, and he pops right out. Do it the way the instructions say, and it just gets real stiff in there, and then, see, he kind of catches. So, I don't know. Either way, it works. It's a fun little gimmick, and I think it's different. I'd like to see more of these kind of gimmicks in modern toys. Not necessarily the Marvel Legends line, but in some of the other lines. So taking a closer look at the figure itself, I do like the sculpt. Even though it is an older figure, I think they captured the essence of the character really well. He was always kind of big and hunched over. I think the face really kind of looks like him. He's got his little blue goatee. And then he's got, it looks almost like a moss growing on him around his shoulders. Those are supposed to be scale type things, and I don't think that translated really well. It kind of looks like he has a bunch of oatmeal just kind of dropped on him. But that's probably the weakest thing, and paint maybe could have helped that. Maybe a more greenish paint, because from the comics I see the scales on his shoulders looking a bit more greenish. Now he does have the two large tusks coming out of his shoulders, which gives him his name. He's got the spikes, and the black on the shoulders there looks really nice. And I think they did a good job with the gimmick, even though it opens up. They did paint it and sculpt it like the rest of it, so it hides it relatively decent. But overall, just really, really nice, and it's kind of cool to see another person of color in the Marvel line. We just don't get that many characters, it seems, and I just appreciate it when I find it interesting figure. So looking at the midsection of the figure, again, it's kind of basic at this point. He's got his black gloves, which look really nice, and then he's got his black pants. He doesn't have a belt or anything, and I don't really remember him with a belt in the comics. He wasn't that prominent of a character, but this definitely looks like what I remember reading as a kid in the late 80s and early 90s. And finally, taking a look at the legs of the figure, again, They just kind of go down in the black. They're all kind of a one piece. There's not really a boot definition, although I do like the musculature on the figure. I think that's done really well. Looks very comic booky, very animated, which is very cool. And I just kind of like the all black, look on the suit, as it's one kind of piece of a unitard or something. So taking a closer look at the Tusk-et itself, again, very well detailed. It's just one flat color though. It does have some paint apps around the face, which is nice. He's got all the little, spikelet type things around his shoulder. Very well detailed as far as muscles go. I think the muscle tone on this one might be better than the actual Tusk himself, but definitely very cool. Now in the comics, he'd make up to, I think it was 3 replicants of himself when he would activate that power. The toy only comes with the one because he can only store the one in the back. So I can understand why they did that, but it would be kind of nice to have a couple of more of these just to hang around. For comparison, here we have Tusk the Inhuman with the Weapon X Wolverine Mutant from the X-Men lines, and they scale pretty decently together, I think. Tusk should be a lot bigger. He should be a mammoth of a character, but in these old scale lines, it was kind of hard for them to do that, to keep them on the card package and make them, profitable, I guess. They could only make it so large, but he's nice and big and wide. He's definitely taller than Wolverine here, which is pretty cool. I really am digging this old school Toy Biz Marvel line, and I'm definitely going to have to pick up some more. So is Tusk a figure that you want in your Marvel collection? Well, if you're collecting the old Toy Biz X-Men action figures, this is something you may want. If you like obscure villains, this is something that you're going to like. If you're collecting Inhumans, those can be kind of hard figures to find. This is definitely a good one, even though that in the X-Men cartoon they represented him as a mutant. In actuality, in Marvel continuity, Tusk is an Inhuman. I don't have a lot of Inhumans. I think he might be the only Inhuman, actually, in my collection as of now. So I'm definitely appreciative of that. And it's just a different character that you don't see a lot of. And I personally like that kind of thing. So he's not expensive. You can find this guy pretty cheap. I paid a few bucks for him at the flea market. You can get this guy all day long for $10 and under on card. So if that's something you're after, definitely go for it. It's a nice sturdy figure. It's got a fun play gimmick. And like I said, he's different. So there he is, Tusk, from Toy Biz Uncanny X-Men Animated Show Line.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share, like us on Facebook, and look for more videos in the future.